Cleveland's the only thing that matters.
We are the same organization, same people, the same backbone.
I'm just proud to play with Cleveland across my chest.
We got your back. Just have ours. We're going to play our hearts out for you every night.
You know, it's a fresh start, new beginnings.
Whether the name grows on people today or tomorrow or a week from now, we're going to make new memories.
Grand Slam Ramirez.
We are
The Guardians.
The Guardians.
Los Guardianes.
We are the Guardians.
We are the Guardians.
Opening night in Cleveland, we pay tribute to Jackie Robinson, who 75 years ago made his major league debut with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Oh, is it good to be back home, Progressive Field, where the Cleveland Guardians play their first home game of the year against the San Francisco Giants. First time Cleveland has ever opened the home portion of their season against a National League foe. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood. Alongside Rick Manning, Andre Knott will join us shortly. Let's get to the big news of the day. Obviously, everyone is excited about opening night, but Jose Ramirez signed, sealed, delivered. He's going to be here for a long time to come.
They could not have signed a better player. The Indians made a commitment to Jose Ramirez, and he made that commitment right back. Always said he wanted to finish his career as a Guardian. He started with as the Indians, but the switch hitter, you know he's going to garner MVP votes. This is the best player on the team. That couldn't have happened to a better guy. We will see him through the year 2028. How about that?
I mean, he's just been such a great, tremendous leader by the way he goes out and plays day in, day out, hustles out of the box on every play, plays solid defense. I mean, he may not be the most vocal guy in the clubhouse, but all they have to do is watch him.
Well, that's exactly right. Just watch him, follow his lead. He works harder than anybody ever does. And you know what? I think they know that. He is the heartbeat of this ball club, and whatever Jose does, they will follow.
When you have that kind of contract extension, it gives him security, peace of mind. It's not going to affect him. It's not going to change the way he plays the game, is it?
He's off to a great start right now with the RBIs, the home runs, the extra base hit. It's something he's always done. He does it from either side of the plate. If he stays healthy, he's going to put up mammoth numbers and will be the longest tenured Cleveland Indian maybe ever.
Well, it's a very special night here in Cleveland. It's the first game in this ballpark as the newly named Guardians. Tom Hanks is going to throw out tonight's ceremonial first pitch. Larry Doby Jr. is with him. He's going to catch that ceremonial first pitch. And how about Tom Hanks? He's got Wilson with him.
Yeah.
From Castaway.
Well, there's Larry Doby Jr. He will be receiving the pitch.
And now, give a warm welcome.
And now Tom Hanks, who began his acting career here in Cleveland with the Great Lakes Theater Festival back in the late 1970s. And then he went to New York, and the rest, as they say, is history. A two-time Oscar winner. And if I ask somebody to list their top 10 movies of all time, guarantee he's in probably 2 or 3 of them.
Without a doubt. He's been looking forward to this. He made the video for the Guardians when it was announced.
That's Wilson, the volleyball.
Is he going to throw Wilson?
I don't know.
It looks like
We're
it.
going to find out. They got the C on it.
No, he's got the real deal.
Right there.
He just brought Wilson with him. All right, here we go. Tonight's ceremonial first pitch.
Is he going to get back?
There goes Wilson.
Rubber? Well, it's windy today.
Always the consummate actor, right?
Look at the umpires are sitting back there wondering if they should call it a ball or a strike.
Is it a balk?
He's coming off the mound. He's not going to throw from the rubber. There he goes again. This has got to be staged.
Wilson's got a mind of his own. Maybe it's remote controlled.
It's got to be.
Oh, this is classic. Here we go.
There it is. Just like Larry Doby Jr. said, I got to keep my eye on the ball. And he did a good job. Made the catch. We'll have both of them on the air tonight. That'll be fun.
Yeah, Tom Hanks will join us. Larry Doby Jr. will join us. And we've got Cleveland Guardians baseball coming up from Progressive Field. Jose Ramirez earlier today officially put his name on the dotted line. What a day for Cleveland Guardians baseball fans. They know they'll be cheering for Ramirez for many more years to come. And we'll be back with tonight's first pitch coming up next.
Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Meyer. When we support the home team, we all win. And by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Get up and count it down. It's our time, it's our town. We should make it loud. Whoa, 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 whoa. We are Cleveland.
The payoff pitch hit high, hit deep, left field. Benintendi, he's out of room. It's out of here. A grand slam for Oscar Mercado. Slam Ramirez.
There you go. That's what we're talking about.
He yanks it down the right field line. It's a 3-run triple for Stephen Kwan. Holy mackerel, he just blew the doors off this game. And we're just about ready for baseball. Zach Plesac has taken the field for Cleveland. Let's go down and check in with Andre Knott. What a great start. When you consider Jose Ramirez, he's off to a tremendous start at the plate, and now he's got long-term security as well.
Yes, sir. He feels great about being here. He's gone through everything he needs. He got this guy, Miles Straw, to sign with him as well because it feels like big things are coming for Cleveland. He has a few words he wants to give to Cleveland before this game starts, but it's also another story that's going to be great tonight. Josh Naylor is back over at first base and in the lineup, and he can't wait to have that first at-bat.
Estoy enfocado y trabajando y las cosas están saliendo como la estoy pensando en el terreno de juego y esa es la clave.
It's been really focused on my work and things have come out the good result the way how we planned it, so it's been really satisfactory that we've been getting those results.
Anything you want to tell Cleveland?
I love Cleveland.
I kind of thought about it like every night, even the night after the injury happened. I thought about it. It's gonna be cool, man. It's a real moment. I mean, the fans here are absolutely incredible. I love them to death, and I hope they love me to death too. And I leave it all on the field for them, and for my teammates as well. But it's going to be a cool moment.
Jose Ramirez loves Cleveland, and we love seeing Josh Naylor back on the field as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about two energy guys. You're looking at them right there. All right, time now to take a look at the Guardians starting pitchers, brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealer. Zach Plesac, coming off a start against Kansas City, pitched very well. 5 2/3 innings of work, struck out 3, retired 17 of the 20 batters he faced. Right-handers did not have a hit off him.
Well, like Cleveland, San Francisco comes into this game with a record of 4-2. Manager Gabe Kapler's starting lineup for San Francisco, presented by Progressive. Mike Yastrzemski leads it off. Brandon Belt in the 2-hole. Darren Ruff will DH and hit third. Jock Peterson, Brandon Crawford, and Wilmer Flores in the middle. Tyro Estrada will hit 7th. Steven Duggar is 8th. And Joey Bart, the catcher, will bat 9th. All players on both teams will be wearing the number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson here tonight. And here is Zach Plesac's first pitch of the ball game, and a fastball in there for strike 1. Game time temperature 54 degrees. Clear skies, light breeze. It was very windy earlier today, but it has died down considerably. Off-speed pitch in for a strike, and now it's 0-2 on Yastrzemski. A career-high 25 homers and 71 runs batted in a year ago. And he takes a look at that pitch up high, 1-2 the count.
Something you got to keep your eye on the Giants early this year.
1-2 pitch belted into right field for Yastrzemski.
Did a nice job. He took the first two. All right, let's check out the Guardians defense, brought to you by Rally House. In the outfield will be Quan in left, Straw in center, Mercado over and right. On the infield, Ramirez at third, Rosario short, Miller at second, Josh Naylor back in there at first, Austin Hedges doing the catching.
The umpires, home plate umpire Paul Emmel, the crew chief, James Hoy at first, Bruce Dreckman at second, Pat Hoberg down at third. Swing and a miss by Brandon Belt.
I was just getting ready to tell you that the Giants have scored 15 of their 27 runs this season in the first 2 innings, which is the most in MLB. So they usually jump out to a lead, and that's after Plesac had him down in the count 0-2.
Quick throw over, and Yastrzemski back.
Oh, that's right. This team has never had the opportunity to see his move yet. Although I'm sure it's been scouted, and they know he has very quick feet to keep him close at first base.
Swing and a miss, tied him up with a good fastball on the inside corner.
That's what that first pitch did. It slowed it down a little bit on the changeup, and he followed it back up with a good fastball in about the same spot, and he was a little tardy on it.
Three on the right side for Brandon Belt. And he takes a changeup, just fading off the outside corner. Fastball misses high, 2-2.
Good pitch, just a little bit above the zone. Didn't offer at it. Got himself back into the count now with a 2-2 count.
Just off the outside corner, a good eye.
All right, let's see if they start the runner at full count. Thinking they may try early. They'd like to get a lead.
High pop up on the infield. Jose Ramirez settles under it. One down. Our storylines are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. For Zach Plesac, pitching in front of a sold-out crowd, opening night, all of the festivities. Trying to keep those emotions in check. And for the Guardians, they're looking for some offense against Carlos Rodon, who no-hit them almost 1 year ago to the day. Last year on April 14th.
Yeah, how about that? That one was in Chicago.
Yes. Darren Ruff, only right-handed hitter among the top 5 in the Giants lineup. And looks at a fastball for a strike. He's the DH.
You know, and we were talking about it this year, the National League. You know, when they come to this park, they'd always have a DH, but this year they have it at home as well, and he DHs a lot. And, you know, I haven't heard any complaints about it yet so far. I know it's still early. Good pitch.
No balls and 2 strikes. Cincinnati Reds are probably petitioning the league as we speak to let pitchers hit again because of the way Cleveland abused them offensively in that brief 2-game series.
Did you see where Jonathan India has an injury, hamstring? Came out of last night's game playing against the Dodgers.
Yeah, they can ill afford that.
Right.
Zach Plesac wanted the Rosenbag.
Well, there's supposed to be 2 of them out there at the start of the game.
Opening night jitters. Two-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Hey, struck him out.
2 down.
That's a good pitch to him against the right-handers. Goes with that slider. And this one goes straight down. I mean, an excellent pitch after he got the fastball by him. It was out of the zone. He got him to chase after it. Good pitch for a strikeout. Second out of the inning.
And that'll bring up Joc Pederson. Pederson signed a 1-year deal in March after a long time with the Dodgers. In fact, he's still got the Dodgers spikes on. Dodger blue kind of clashes with the Giants.
Say, they don't
orange and black, doesn't it?
Well, we got some more blue ones right there.
Actually, those are the Ken Griffey Jr. Jackie Robinson Day shoes, my man. I know I got you when it comes to shoes.
Yes, you do. Do you have a pair of them yet?
Hey, man, I got some shoes on tonight, too, now. We all had to have something special for Jackie night, but I don't have those on. Those are, like I said, those are Ken Griffey Jr. issue shoes for Jackie Robinson Day that you'll see with a couple guys on.
Pederson's actually from Northern California. His family was thrilled after all those years with the Dodgers. He finally gets to play with his hometown ball club, the Giants.
A little tougher ballpark to hit home runs in out there, though. It's San Fran.
2 down, runner at first, 1-1 pitch. Center field. Back goes Miles Straw. He makes the catch just shy of the center field fence to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Guardians coming to bat.
Carlos Rodon, who's going to be making the start. We're familiar with him from the White Sox. Ended up signing with the Giants. He's made 1 start this year, 12 strikeouts in his 5 innings. And we know this guy has a good arm. He no-hit the Indians last year, April 14th in Chicago. And that game, same matchup. He had Zach Plesac on the mound.
Terry Francona starting 9, presented by Progressive. Miles Straw leads it off. Stephen Kwan in the 2-hole. Jose Ramirez batting 3rd. Franmil Reyes will DH and bat cleanup. Ahmed Rosario is 5th. Owen Miller batting 6th. Then Josh Naylor back in the lineup. Oscar Mercado is 8th. Austin Hedges will bat 9th.
On a good fastball, slider, curveball. He will run it into the right-handers. That slider can be a tough pitch against the righties. If they take it for a ball, it's a good thing. If they start swinging at it, there could be some problems.
They had a fastball in there for strike 1.
Matt Rick, in his first start as a Giant in their second game, he threw 10 fastballs in the first inning, said he was juiced up, was sitting at 98, 97. Threw no sliders in the first inning in his last start.
Okay, that's what we saw last year. He was up there in 97, 98, even in the 9th inning of that no-hitter.
And the goal for the guys over here, I've been told, is to stay off of that slider, like you just said. But guys only hit 107 versus it last year.
Yeah, but he can bury it in there when he gets the 2 strikes. And, you know, if he can save it for the 2nd or 3rd time around, it's great.
Now the 1-1.
There it is. That one was away. A 2-strike pitch, usually he'll run him in.
Now the 1-2 offering. And he chased one up high and strikes out. 1 down, and now Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan, 10 for 19 with 8 walks and 7 runs scored. A couple of doubles, a triple. He's knocked in 5 runs. And a fastball up and away, ball 1.
He is just really at a remarkable start. Good eye at the plate. Doesn't really chase a lot of pitches off the plate. He rarely overswings.
pop-up. Playable here, maybe. Joey Bart. 2 down. And now Jose Ramirez. Hits, 14 runs batted in his first 6 games this year. The only other player to ever do that was Pat Burrell of the Phillies back in '05.
I think Pat Burrell's still in their organization for the Giants, where he ended his career. That's the pitch you have to lay off.
Now the 1-1. And Ramirez sends one towards center field. Duggar makes the catch. The Guardians go 1-2-3, and we are scoreless after 1. No score. What a treat for us. Tom Hanks joins us now here in the booth. You've been in some of the biggest movies in Hollywood. You got a couple of Oscars. You've done one-man stage productions. How does the anxiety compare with throwing out a first pitch?
You still never pass up a free ticket to a ball game. It's one of the perks. It's what you desire. When it can be from the adopted home team, well, that's the only thing better would be, I think, a delicious hot dog and a nice cold drink.
we can take care of that.
Isn't there a package that I should be promoting right now for the Guardians Nation?
How nervous were you?
I've been sweating this from the moment I said I was going to do it.
Yeah.
There's something about it. It's been a while since my elbow has been up above my shoulder, guys.
Brandon could have rolled the ball in.
Well, that would have been an embarrassing thing. I think one of the reasons that the reaction was a little muted because they were wondering who's this old guy with the name Hanks on his back. So I wanted to have some vim out there. I wanted to have some zip.
I like the panache. You brought Wilson out there with you. I mean,
big fan.
Little added attraction.
Big Guardians fan. He was thrilled with a chance to come back to Cleveland. Washed ashore there on Euclid Beach. brought him along to the game. It's a beautiful night for baseball here in April on opening day.
Yes, especially a night game. The first time we played a night game in a long time.
Oh, doctor!
Brandon Crawford puts the Giants on the board first tonight with a long home run into the lower deck in right field. It's his first home run of the year.
If you guys want me to leave,
we're not superstitious.
If that's an omen, I understand.
No. This is what the Giants' MO is. They try to score in the first 2 innings, and they're very good at doing that.
You know,
he's going to hit, I'll tell you, he's going to hit a changeup, and we'll see the location. Look at the screen, and this is how we do it right here. See that 3-fingered changeup, and it was right down the middle. And the hitter usually tells you when you make a bad pitch, and he certainly did right there. And the Giants will take a 1-0 lead. As Matt, you mentioned the first home run of the year for Crawford.
Now, you said Cleveland, kind of your adopted team. You obviously spent a few formative years in your acting career here in Cleveland at the Great Lakes Theater Festival. What did that experience do for you that you still have this affinity for the city of Cleveland?
I fell in love with the entire drama and the pastoral quality of the game here in Cleveland. I had been, my first game, I was 7 years old. I saw in Candlestick Park these very same San Francisco Giants take on the Milwaukee Braves.
Oh, yeah?
How about that? So I saw Juan Marichal, Willie Mays, Will McCovey, and Hank Aaron at a very early, but I didn't know what was going on. It was when I had that time to have a night off from the theater. Let's go down to the ballpark. I will sit with 475 of my closest friends to watch, say, the vicious rivalry between the Cleveland Ball Club and the California Angels, say. And it was there with the drama of the game, a decent scorecard, and the long, long night of saying, let's watch the game unfold. That's where I fell in love with baseball as the national pastime.
Where'd you sit in that old ballpark? Were you out in the bleachers?
Section 19, baby. We had it all to ourselves.
Did you?
Me and Clive Rosengren of the Great Lakes Shakespeare Festival, we'd go out there. I was not so much of a drinking man, but he would. Our biggest challenge of the night was getting a beer vendor to come up all the way to Section 19. They didn't want to make those stairs on some of those nights.
Well, they only had the 3.2 beer anyway. It was no good.
But beer is beer, my friend. You can't beat one at the old ballpark. But that's where Cleveland Municipal Lakefront Stadium, that was my first true hometown, regular, let's go to the ballpark. Is there a game tonight? Let's watch Thunder Thornton, Andre Thunder Thornton. Mike Hargrove, the human brain.
This guy right here at center field.
77, 78. Yeah.
Oh, then I saw you, my friend.
Kuiper, who does the San Francisco Giants games. He was a teammate of all of ours there.
Did Toby Harrah really love wearing those socks the way he wore those?
Oh, yeah, he did. Those pants were up high. Yes, he did. He sure did.
Isn't it funny? We were up there watching you, and we were living and dying about whether Sid Mungie was going to get in the game.
Sid Mungie. You were there. You didn't have to write that name down on your hand.
Nope. Sudden Sid. But I got to say, Progressive Field, I was here 15 years ago on my 50th birthday with a bunch of friends and my kids, and this is about as gorgeous a venue for the game as you're going to.
Yeah, that's down into the right field corner, and Steven Duggar is going to dig it out for a double.
Now, once again, I'll ask, guys, do you want me to leave?
No.
Absolutely
not.
What juju have I brought to the Guardians tonight?
That's only a long way to go. The way they've been scoring runs, there's no problem. Yeah, the 29th home opener here at this ballpark, and it still looks beautiful. And, you know, they're going to end up doing some more renovations over the next 3 years here to make it even better.
Can I talk about what an honor it was to throw the ball to Larry Doby Jr. as well?
Yes, go right ahead.
This was extraordinary. What was it, 45 days after Jackie Robinson integrated?
Something like, yes, similar, something like that.
I just found out, because this was an American League team, that Larry Doby integrated more cities because of the nature of the ballparks and the ball teams in an American League than was done by the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Nationals. All six cities, as opposed to the multiple cities of, the Dodgers play the Giants there in New York. He would get to Cincinnati and St. Louis.
Yes.
And Mr. Doby representing.
You know, he
baseball organization.
Yeah, and he was the second African-American manager when he took over. Frank Robinson was the first here in 1975, and I think it was 78 when Larry Doby went to manage the White Sox.
See? You know, I'm just walking around the hallways here at forgive me, I almost called it the Jake. Forgive me.
That's okay.
It's been 15 years here at Progressive. And the amount of history that is illuminated on the walls, illustrated on the walls down here, makes me think that Cleveland is as important a shrine to the game as any that exists in
charter
all of
member,
baseball.
absolutely right.
I met Herb Score. How about that? I met Herb Score once.
Herbie could deal. The big left-hander. He threw as hard as anybody in baseball when he first came up.
And he got hit in the eye.
Yes.
Gil McDougall of the Yankees.
I almost yelled, sit down, to Joey Bart, but he's not quite out yet. How do you guys keep track of all the stuff that's going on? You guys must be professional.
Very carefully. 2 down here in the second inning. Giants on the board first. They've got a runner at second. Joey Bart taking over for Buster Posey, who retired at the end of last year. Looks at a fastball outside, and as we like to say, the string is out.
Okay, and now you're going to see a 3-2 slider here. He's going to go for the punch-out pitch.
Are you guys clairvoyant?
Well, you know what? I'm going out on a limb and say that. If it's wrong, then
no, he's Kreskin.
I pay you. I'll give you $20. There's a slider.
Swing and a miss.
And that makes me say, sit down.
There you go.
I think we have him right where we want him, guys.
Tom, thanks so much for stopping by.
Check it out.
Great
First
pleasure.
pitch.
Let me see
Come
it.
on.
There you go.
Look at that four-seamer.
Oh, my Lord.
We had that at 85 miles per hour.
What a pleasure.
1-0 our score as the Giants got on the board in the home run by Brandon Crawford. Now bottom of the second inning. Franmil Reyes will lead off for the Guardians. Carlos Rodon worked the 1-2-3 first inning. You know, I just had to ask Tom as we went to break there. He's had so many movie lines.
One-liners.
That are among the pantheon of great lines of all time. I mean, think about it. There's no crying in baseball, right?
Right.
And you know, the Castaway movie with, you know, Wilson, you know, and I asked him, in those moments, like, do you know this is going to be one of those lines that's going to follow me around forever, or is that just something that happens after the fact? There's a line drive is caught by Brandon Crawford. That's short for out number one.
Well, that's a good sign for Reyes. Hit the ball right on the nose off the left-hander. That's what he needs. He needs that line drive. He'd like to see it fall for a base hit, but there's a good start.
Houston, we have a problem. You know, there's another one. He said some of those lines were ad-lib. You know, you just kind of throw them in there. But he said if you think this is going to be one of those lines that's going to be great, it never happens.
Right. Isn't that the truth?
So the people decide. Ahmed Rosario batting in the 5-hole, riding a 6-game hitting streak. 4 runs batted in the last 4 games.
Oh, this is going to be an infield hit. Can he get him?
Wilmer Flores with a great bare hand grab, and somehow Brandon Belt kept his foot on the bag.
Tell you, great play. Very good play. I've seen Rosario beat that out many times. But Flores, the throw was up the first base line, but a nice play over there by Belt as well. Coming across the bag to keep his foot on the bag. Wow, that was close. Looked like it might have been off, but nope. He had it on. That's a great play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not an easy play. He had to go across, and the runner's coming in way, and could have been run over, but he gets him at first base. A good play on both ends.
2 down for Owen Miller, who began the day leading the league in doubles with 5. High fastball misses. Play to the right. In their 4-game win streak, Cleveland has never trailed, so this is the first time they've been behind since the 2nd game of the season.
Well, their calling card has been the 2-out RBI so far this year, where they have 19 of them. They've done a tremendous job of scoring with 2 outs.
Most in the majors. Upstairs with that fastball, and Miller went up the ladder to foul it back.
This guy's been doing a terrific job using the whole field, and I mean driving one the other way in Cincinnati. First 2 home runs of the year. Picked on a slider to left field and took a fastball to right center.
11 hits and 21 at bats for Owen Miller. And he crunches one deep left field. Off the wall. He's digging for 2. And he goes in standing with a double.
Another extra base hit. I'll tell you, he is hitting the ball where it's pitched. His hands, that was a breaking ball inside, and he just speeds up the bat head. He is locked in. He's balanced. And there's that little slider. But it doesn't get in enough. He goes out and gets it. And you can see Bart behind the plate taking a peek and said, man, that's a pretty good swing. Hits off the wall. So another double. That's his 6th double of the year.
Came in leading the league, leads the majors and doubles, and now Josh Naylor, his first at bat of the year.
What a great story this is.
Fastball strike. Naylor was injured in Minnesota on June 27th. Suffered a horrific fracture of the ankle. But he has come all the way back. And a ground ball up the gut, but Crawford is there and throws him out. No runs, a hit, 1 left after 2. It's the Giants 1 and the Guardians nothing.
Each generation that passes, his memory only gets stronger because I feel like more and more guys understand more and more of what he did for not only them, so me personally, but for just how the game has grown. I'm just very happy to be a part of it and happy that I got to follow in his shoes.
75 years ago, Jackie Robinson made his debut. And several weeks later, Larry Doby made his debut in Cleveland. That ball's hit down the right field line, but he's out in front of it. Mike Yastrzemski pulling it foul. Yastrzemski, that name, if it's familiar to you, it should be. His grandfather was a contemporary of yours, Carl Yastrzemski, with the Boston Red Sox.
Yes, sir. Triple Crown winner, MVP. He was awesome. Left-handed hitter. Held his hands high with their socks.
Think about it. I mean, Mike Yastrzemski is 31 years old, made his major league debut in 2019. And Jose Ramirez is 29 years old. Left field, Kwan makes the catch, one down. Jackie Robinson on this day, 1947, with the Brooklyn Dodgers. A career 300 hitter, 311, 130, 137 home runs. Rookie of the year.
Yeah. Could have been in baseball 5 years prior to that.
We'll have Larry Doby Jr. joining us coming up in the 5th inning here tonight. The 1-0 pitch. Cleveland will be celebrating all season long the 75th anniversary of Larry Doby.
Yeah, right.
Integrating the American League. You see the number 14 painted on the field. That's a good pitch. Fastball didn't get the call. 2-1.
Larry broke in, what was it, July 5th?
Yeah.
Is his first day in the American League. Yeah, that's a pretty good pitch, is right. Doesn't look too high to me.
Brandon Belt popped up on the infield his first time up. Boy. That's a walk, first issued by Plesac, and the first on the year that he has issued.
Right. He's had very good control, but he felt he threw a couple of strikes in that at-bat.
Matt, Rick, the main thing they're telling Plesac, stay aggressive. They know the Giants are aggressive. They like to hit home runs. They sit on pitches. But Carl told him, you're fine. Stay aggressive with these guys and let your guys behind you play.
Yeah. He made some good pitches in that at-bat. There's no doubt.
Darren Ruff struck out his first time up, and he takes a called strike.
And that was a good pitch, slider.
This Giants ball club surprised a lot of people last year when they won 107 games. And they captured the NL West by 1 game over the Dodgers, and then lost a win or go home game 5 to LA in the division series. And then the Dodgers ended up losing in the National League Championship Series to the eventual world champion Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, that's tough to do. It win 107 games and
first round exit.
Yeah, that's tough.
Ground ball to third. Jose Ramirez goes to second. There's one. Owen Miller, low throw, and Naylor could not dig it out at first.
Well, really the first chance that Miller's had a chance to play second base. And, you know, it was a good throw from Jose. All he has to do is, return the good throw over to Naylor. He spiked it into the ground. And Naylor coming back out, and you can see he just couldn't hold on to it, hit him in the heel of the glove. But that throw's got to be better than that. He had plenty of time to get that double play ball. But he hasn't been playing second.
Keeps the inning alive for Jock Peterson, who flied to deep center his first time up. Took a big hack and came up empty. Downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, it's interesting that it was on this day in 1947 that the Brooklyn Dodgers signed Jackie Robinson, or he made his debut with the Brooklyn Dodgers, and it would be 2 years later when the New York Giants integrated, when they signed Monty Irvin. There's a line drive and a base hit in the left field for Jock Peterson. So the inability to turn that double play extends the inning, though.
Well, hopefully you don't. You give teams extra outs, and the Giants are that type of team where they play a lot of close games. You know, they're in every game between 1 and 2 runs. There's a good swing. He stayed on it and took it the other way. You know, their first 6 games this year have been decided by 2 runs or less, and last year they were 51-30 in games like that. So they're usually in every game, and you don't want to give a team like this extra out. So hopefully Zach Plesac could pick up his defense here.
First ball swinging. Brandon Crawford pops one up. Jose Ramirez over near the seating, but it's out of play.
Well, Crawford in his first at bat caught a changeup that had too much of the plate. The boy kept his hands back, and Zach knew that ball was gone. Hit it very well. Difference in the ball game right now. But so far, the Giants with 4 hits on the night.
Here's a ball that's playable. Stephen Kwan racing in over near the line. Inning over. No runs, a hit, 2 stranded. Middle of the third, 1-0 Giants.
Well, let's take a look at the Giants defense, brought to you by Rally House. In the outfield will be Peterson in left, Duggars in center, Yastrzemski over and right. Flores at third, Crawford short, Estrada is at second, Belt is at first, and Bart behind the plate.
And Oscar Mercado will lead off for Cleveland here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Mercado has 5 hits on the year. All 5 have gone for extra bases.
Early curveball trying to get it in there for strike 1, but missed. And all of his hits for extra bases.
3 homers, a double, a triple, 9 runs batted in. High pop on the infield. Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, puts it away. Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Yu Chang is currently sidelined, along with Luke Maile, who has that hamstring injury that he's continuing to work his way back from, as well as James Karinchak, who's in kind of the same situation that Maile is in, working his way back. No word on what has sidelined Yu Chang. Austin Hedges Austin Hedges 0 for 16 to start the year, has walked a couple of times. Low fastball, bottom of the zone.
Yeah, you make pitches like that. I mean, you don't swing at them because first of all, you probably don't see them real well. And if you do, you're not going to get much on it. Now see if he buries one inside or stays away. Elevation, 98.
Second strikeout for Rodon. First time through the order. Cleveland goes 1 for 9 against him. And let's check in real quick with Andre Knopf.
All right, we talked earlier about some of the blue shoes that you may see tonight with guys wearing the Ken Griffey Jr. shoes that are for Jackie Robinson. Miles Straw wanted to do something different. A couple other guys. If you look at those shoes, they had one of our local artists. On one side, they're representing Larry Doby because they wanted to give him some credit. On the other side is Jackie Robinson. A few of our guys said they want to do this the way they feel is the right way. Take care of both sides and both of the players that broke the barrier. So there's some Larry Doby love as well as a little Jackie Robinson love when Miles Straw comes into play.
I like that.
John Orosky?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Really has become great. Has guys all around Major League Baseball calling him in Lakewood to take care of their shoes.
He's the Picasso of athletic shoes, isn't he?
He really is. Arch, are you surprised how many off-speed pitches we're seeing early?
Not really.
Okay.
He's pitched against this club
That's
before,
true.
and he knows, he elevated the fastball, but now he can slow him down early and try and put him away with his fastball as opposed to getting fastball, and then the slider. So, he can, you change your pattern sometimes.
And he faced this organization
right
a few times last year. We know we talk about the no-hitter, but it wasn't the only time they saw him last year as well.
No, he was made 3 starts. He was 2-0. Pitched 20 innings, 23 strikeouts, had the no-hitter, but I do remember another time we put a few left-handers in against him, and the lefties did pretty well. They fared well off him. He could be maybe tougher on righties sometimes.
And is that because of the slider?
Yes, yeah. Well, and he was throwing 97, 98. And I mean,
right.
Remember he made his first All-Star team last year. But this guy has had a good arm. He's had shoulder surgeries. He's had injuries, and I think that's one reason why the White Sox didn't stay with him.
Well, what blew away everybody from the Giants side, he got 24 swings and misses in his last start in 5 innings. That's a ridiculous number of swing and misses in one start.
It sure is. But you see that pitch?
Yeah.
That's why he'll get no swings and misses, because it's a perfect pitch. That was a good 97-mile-an-hour fastball away.
Here's the payoff.
And, if he stays healthy for the Giants, I'm going to tell you something. He's going to be nasty because that's a good ballpark to pitch in.
He retires the side in order for the second time in 3 innings.
Because he was second more than anything else, and doesn't get the same notoriety. Personally, as I understand Mr. Doby, he was also a person that was a little bit more low-key than even Robinson, who was fairly low-key, but someone who was very outspoken and very political. So Mr. Doby didn't always garner that same attention because he didn't bring that level of attention upon himself. He wanted his bat and his glove to show what he could do, and that was also one of the ways he fought back races.
Dr. Ray Doswell of the Negro League Baseball Museum in Kansas City did such a wonderful job taking us through the museum. You, me, Andre, and a host of others from the Guardians organization. A lot of fun listening to him and tell the stories and really give us a great history lesson.
They do a wonderful job there. They really do.
Chopper to third base. Jose throws out Wilmer Flores, 1 down. And Larry Doby, 7th in club history in homers. Led the league in homers in 1952 and 54. In 1954, he did not win the MVP award. Yogi Berra of the Yankees, go figure, right? New York, won the MVP award. But I mean, homers and RBIs, it's hard when you think about it in modern times. If you lead the league in homers and RBI
in that era,
how do you not win the MVP, right?
True. At 54, they won 113 games or 111 games.
Up the middle. Owen Miller takes care of that. Thairo Estrada retired 2 down.
Matt, I was talking to Tristan McKenzie today before the game, and he told me a great story that involved you and I when we were at the Negro League Museum. He said, the coolest thing for him was sitting in that room watching a movie with us, and the lights came on, and there were 2 kids. They were from Akron. And the one kid ran up to him and he said, "Man, you're the first jersey I ever bought."
Yeah.
And Tristan said after going through that museum and seeing the impact on just kids that he's never met before, he realizes he'll never go through what those guys did, but he's going to do his best to carry their legacy because of moments like that.
He's a great young man. Easy to root for. 1, 2, 3, go the Giants. Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by your local Cadillac dealers and by Union Home Mortgage. Promises kept. 1-0 San Francisco, 4th inning here at Progressive Field. Cleveland has been held to just 1 hit by Carlos Rodon, who no-hit them almost 1 year ago to the day. Meanwhile, the Giants' lone run came on a home run by Brandon Crawford in the 2nd inning. Steven Kwan will lead off here in the 4th. Then Jose Ramirez and Franmil Reyes. Wow.
Where did that get him?
I think he got him on the ear flap.
That's what it looked like.
I think he was trying to hang in there as long as he could. It was a curveball. He was waiting for it to break, and I don't think it ever did.
That's what I thought. I just wasn't sure. Look, he tried to get down, but he turned right into it.
Yeah.
And that was a curveball. And I mean, I was watching Rodon look at him as he went, and he was thinking, why didn't you get out of the way? But you're right. He stayed in there, and there's not much, with that high leg kick, what was he going to do? When you lift that front foot up, and it wasn't on the ground, so he really couldn't get himself out of the way, but they're looking at his eye right now. And
well, the bad thing is, Rick, sometimes you see those pitches will come in, they'll deflect off the helmet.
Right.
That one was a plunk.
Yeah. Look at what
Of course, Tito's making him laugh.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, he's got to talk his way in there. And Tito tried to make a joke out of it, but he seems to be okay. Good.
So Kwan is aboard.
Watch the front foot where it's still in the air when he gets hit. Oh, there it just gets down. He's trying to get out of the way.
And again, first time he's ever faced Rodon, so he fouled out his first time up in that 1st inning. Jose Ramirez lined out to center his first time up. Fly ball, left field. It's deep. Duggar's back. He's going to give way to Peterson, who makes the catch just shy of the wall for out number 1. He almost put one up there into the bleachers.
Yeah, just off, maybe a little bit off the end of the bat. Well, 22 season ticket memberships for the Guardians. Just go to CLEGuardians.com, season tickets.
One on, one out, Franmil Reyes. He hit one right on the screws first time up. It was right at the shortstop, Brandon Crawford.
Yeah, but he had very good balance in the batter's box. That's what I'm looking for, where he can stay behind the baseball. He's not out front. He's been swinging at a lot of pitches, at least on that road trip, out in front of everything and swinging a lot of pitches out of the strike zone.
Right at him again. They get one at second, and they churn an inning-ending double play. 4 complete from Cleveland. It's the Giants 1 and the Guardians nothing. 1-0 Giants on top. 5th inning here in Cleveland. The Larry Doby statue just outside center field gate here at Progressive Field. And boy, we're happy now to be joined by Larry Doby Jr., who was on hand before the game. So that's something a little unique, different, catching the ceremonial first pitch.
Yeah, it was a lot more nervous because, you know, when you're on the mound and you're throwing it, you try to throw a strike, but if it doesn't get caught, you don't care. But, yeah, I'm glad that I was able to hold on to
I was going to ask you if you were nervous, because we asked Tom Hanks. He says, oh, man, he was, you know, his heart was going. I guess when you're out there doing it, you don't want to mess anything up and you want everything to go well. It was just fine. Yep. I saw, kept your eye on the ball. That's what Daddy would have said.
That's exactly right, Rick. That's exactly right.
So obviously you have special feelings about Cleveland. I've heard you talk about this before. You've mentioned it to us before. Because of the way as that ball's lined into left field by Joey Bart, the Giants catcher, the number 9 hitter, that's going to roll it back to the top of the order. Because of the way this city embraced your father, and I know he was a little bit tight-lipped and didn't tell a lot of great stories, but you said he was very emphatic about one particular story that I'll let you share with us.
Yeah, I just, you know, as a little kid, like, you know, everybody wants to know what does Daddy do for work? And, you know, tell me a story. He wouldn't talk about it. And, you know, it was like there was no discussion. Like, no, you want to learn about it, you read it in the history books. I'm like, okay, Dad, that's what I want to do. So anyway, you know, years later, when I was a little bit older,
center field, Miles Straw has that one.
We were sitting watching a game, you know, on TV one day, and I don't remember what happened on the TV, but out of his mouth comes, you know, they never booed me in Cleveland. And I looked at him like he had a couple of drinks, and he didn't. And I said, you know what, that's hard for me to believe, but I have to, because he didn't talk about it much. So when he said something, my ears perked up. And just to me, it spoke volumes of this city. It's a small Midwestern town. It didn't have the spotlight of New York City like, you know, Brooklyn was on Jackie Robinson. There weren't papers running around all the time. And they opened up their hearts to him. He belonged to them. So it was like if he made it out, or if he struck out, or whatever, or if he hit a home run, they still supported him. And that meant the world to my dad. You know, he didn't talk about it much, but he did tell me that. And so whenever they asked me to do something here, I'm more than happy to do it, because, you know, they didn't have to do it, they didn't have to do it, and they did. And he never forgot it.
Bob Kendrick in Kansas City said in many ways he believes Larry Doby Sr., your father, may have had it a little bit more difficult time than Jackie, because the spotlight wasn't on him, because people didn't have to be quote-unquote on their best behavior, because you know, there wasn't media following your father around the way they were with Jackie.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Exactly. And they say the definition of integrity is what you do when nobody's looking.
Right.
So Cleveland was pretty damn, you know, pretty good. Pretty good.
One on, one out here, 5th inning. Brandon Belt at the plate. Larry Doby Jr. with us.
Did you ever get to spend any time with him in Chicago when he was managing in '78?
Yeah. That was the summers of my years at Duke. I was playing in the Central Illinois Collegiate League.
Okay.
In Bloomington, Illinois, and used to come up on the 55 and spend a lot of time with him. So it was a lot of fun.
Because I remember when he went over there, he was a coach here with Frank Robinson for a while when I was young, going to spring training. And then I remember he went over and had those blue uniforms when they had the shorts and the lapels. Boy, they were ugly. But he had a chance to manage there.
Yeah. Yep. So Chicago was a pretty good place for him. So he got traded there and played there, and then Mr. Veeck made him the second black manager.
Larry Doby debuted with Cleveland just weeks after Jackie Robinson broke in with the Dodgers in 1947. And then, of course, the very next year, along with Satchel Paige and a host of other great players, they win the World Championship for Cleveland. The last baseball World Championship in franchise history here. This is going to sound like amateur psychology, but because I've heard you talk about this before, I actually wondered to myself, do you think maybe your dad suffered at all from maybe just post-traumatic stress from everything he went through, and maybe that's why he was so guarded with talking about things that he went through or telling old stories?
You know, that's an interesting way to look at it. I don't know. I know that when I wanted to, you know, talk to him about stuff, he'd always talk about playing high school football in Patterson, East Side, New Jersey, and he wouldn't talk about baseball. And sometimes, like, you know, more recently, I've thought to myself, maybe it was too painful for him to repeat. I don't know. But again, I'm thankful for guys like Jim Hegan and Bob Lemon and Joe Gordon, who, you know, put their hands out and opened their arms to him, because he couldn't have done what he's doing alone. You know, he had to have people on his side.
Right.
You know, he did have Mr. Veck and he had my mom, but he had to have somebody on the team that looked out for him, and those guys did.
Oh, baby. Wow.
Is that Rick Manning out in center field?
How about that?
That looks like the Gold Glover from Niagara
I'll tell
Falls.
you what, that's a good play right there. I love it.
Larry Doby Sr. was a pretty good center fielder, huh? Once upon a time, too.
Yeah, way back, way back. Yes, sir.
Larry, thanks so much for stopping by. Appreciate it as always.
Anytime.
Great to see you, Larry.
Good to see you, Rick. You take care, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Our stat of the game tonight is brought to you by Buick. Northern Ohio Buick dealers, 10 or more hits in the team's first 6 games. Jose has a dozen. Owen has 11. Quan has 10. Ahmed has 10. 4 players for the 3rd time in club history. No surprise. 99 and 95. A lot of good hitters on those clubs.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. But, you know, this is something I don't think we really expected to happen.
I don't think anybody saw this coming.
You know what? Because it's youth and everybody thought it was a young team. But some of these youngsters got off to a start that we haven't seen for a while in this town.
But, Arch, isn't that more important with the young team? In 95, those guys, there were some established names in there that kind of done a little bit.
Well, the season ended in 94,
right.
So they were ready to come back in 95.
But even talking to Tito, he said, you know, you can't put too much in 6 games, but it's better than the alternative to have these young guys to have some positivity, especially going against a guy like this tonight.
I remember we were talking about it, looking up at the scoreboard, you know, and you say, you look at the batting averages. It is much better to get off to a good start, especially for the young players,
and now
just for their confidence.
And now they know they can compete up here no matter what happens the next 20 at-bats.
0-2 pitch right now. They've got their hands full because Rodon is just, he is painting.
He's, you know what, hasn't left off, man. He comes back and he is dealing. He's making some outstanding pitches. The control is amazing.
So and again, this is what's weird, is that pitch, they're set up inside, and he throws it on the outside corner, but it still ends up in a perfect spot, whether he intended to or not. That's where the ball ended up. He's having one of those nights.
And Andre said, what do you have, 24 swings and misses against Miami?
Yeah.
Well, there's some pitches he's making you can't swing at.
Right.
He's getting a lot of calls.
And I think a lot of these guys are looking slider, especially with 2 strikes.
Well, that's okay, but that's the equalizer. What did I say? A good fastball.
Well,
he's
heater,
locating. Yeah. Now, he's given that high strike to him, and he didn't give Plesac a high strike to, who was it, Belt?
It's a Belt,
yeah.
Yes.
Got to go both ways. I mean, if they're strikes. Don't misunderstand me. They're at the top of the zone. Right there. He's living up there.
And Owen Miller got a slider and banged it off the wall and left for a double. It's the only hit for Cleveland tonight.
See, the only way, and he must be reading that they're sitting on his slider, because you know what? You can't hit that high fastball belt high at 97 unless you're looking for it, and you got to cheat on it to get to it. So he can see. He obviously sees their sitting slider. Until they make an adjustment, he's not going to.
Owen Miller has now hit in 5 straight games, 6 doubles, leads baseball.
Yeah, the only hit of the ball game for the Guardians.
That 98-mile-an-hour fastball missing wide of the mark.
Matt, as you guys had Larry Doby Jr. up there, there's one thing I wanted him to know. I know when I talked to him last year, he said the one last thing he wanted for his dad was for Major League Baseball to represent his dad like they do with Jackie Robinson. And I just want him to know the people here in Cleveland are doing all they can to try to get Major League Baseball to make 14 Warren on July 5th. I know he felt like that would be one of the last great things that could be done for his dad so more people would know about him. And I wanted to tell him if I saw him, Whether it's CC Sabathia or anybody else in New York that's working for MLB, that is what they're trying to get for him and his family.
I hope so. He certainly deserves it.
Like Joey Bart wants that slider here, or maybe curveball.
Hasn't thrown many curveballs yet. There it is.
Here's the
That's
curveball.
a curveball. How about that?
But I mean, after fastball, you can understand why a hitter just kind of gets jelly-legged up there.
See, then they switch and they go after the fastball, and he throws you something off speed. And it drops in. That's that honey. The drop in right there, right into the strike zone. Locked him up.
And 2 down now for Josh Naylor. There's a high fastball, and he fouls it into the mitt of Bart for strike 1. And then he comes with a slider, misses outside. 45 pitches on the night for Carlos Rodon. 9, and a 4-pitch 4th inning.
Yeah, how about it being efficient? 5 strikeouts, hasn't walked anybody, has a double play ball. I mean, we've seen him pitch this good before, so he makes his pitches. It's a tough go, man, when you're a hitter.
What's interesting about the contract he signed, though, Rick, it was a 2-year deal, $44 million. But he has an opt-out after this year if he logs more than 110 innings.
He's going to do that.
So it was almost like San Francisco hedged their bets just in case. We'll give you the opt-out, but you got to stay healthy.
Well, and like I said, if he stays healthy, he's going to have a great year in that ballpark.
The Guardians go 1-2-3, and after 5, it remains San Francisco 1, Cleveland nothing. For the best coverage in the game, let's check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Nothing better than a sold-out crowd here at Progressive Field.
It's great, isn't it? They just need a little offense to wake them up.
Opening night. It's been a well-pitched game both ways.
Yes, it has.
Zach Plesac giving up a home run to Brandon Crawford in the 2nd inning, the only run of the night. Carlos Rodon, as you said, he looks just like he did a year ago when he threw the no-hitter. Though Cleveland has 1 hit so far tonight.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And these people have been waiting all, even though the home opener's been delayed. It was supposed to be the 31st of March. Ends up being the 15th of April. But they're out. They're dressed. They're ready.
Zach's at 70 pitches, Arch, and Trevor Stephan is up in the Cleveland bullpen.
Yeah, so okay, after his last start, that's what they were going. So he's probably about around an 85.
I would say probably max
10 to 15, yes. Yep. And he's been pretty efficient too.
Yeah.
I mean, he has allowed 5 hits, but he's been just fine.
Jock Peterson has 1 of those hits. That came with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. There is Stephan getting loose in the Cleveland pen. 2-0 delivery. In the air, center field again. Straw back at the wall. He's not going to get that one. Jock Peterson with his 2nd home run of the year. San Francisco's 2nd home run of the night, and the Giants now lead 2-0.
Well, he hit one to the track to center field his first at bat. He lined a nice single to left in his last one. So he was pretty much locked in on Zach Plesac. So the 2nd home run allowed tonight by Zach, and this one is too bad because Straw just ran out of room. You see, that one had a little too much of the plate, and they didn't miss it. If that was a little farther, Straw would have caught it. But look at him. He's into his trot. 2-0 San Francisco.
Now Brandon Crawford. He left Tuesday's game with a left wrist injury. He had been day-to-day. Back in there tonight, hit a home run in his first ever appearance here in Cleveland. Stats with Lowe's. Ground ball, hard hit to second. Owen Miller takes care of that one now. And a word now from Spectrum Mobile.
Spectrum Mobile has the best deal in mobile. 2+ lines of unlimited for just $29.99 each. Switch and save up to 60%. Visit SpectrumMobile.com.
Now Wilmer Flores. Flores has struck out, grounded out. And a fastball painted on the outside corner. Misfired that time. And a fastball just a bit high. 2-2. Flores was just 1 for 10 to start the year before going 4 for 8 in the last 2 games. And he smacks this one up the alley. Long run. Straw slides to stop it, but that's not going to be in time to keep Flores from reaching second base with a 1-out double.
They go get him now.
Tito making his way to the top step of the dugout. And that's going to be the end of the line for Zach Plesac.
Yeah, the pitches that he made mistakes with today on the plate, I'll tell you what, San Francisco didn't miss them. Those hitters took advantage of it. Giving up the 7 hits. But he's only given up the 2 runs.
So we've got a timeout here in Cleveland with the Giants on top 2-0. Lowe's. Opening day starts in San Francisco, Giants history. So since they moved out west, Brandon Belt and Brandon Crawford both with 11. The interesting thing to note there, they moved in 58. Willie Mays and Willie McCovey both at the top of the list. I mentioned before that the Giants integrated in 1949 when Monty Irvin was the first black player to play for the Giants. What's interesting about that, 2 things. One, when Jackie Robinson broke in 1947, Bob Kendrick and the folks at the Negro League Museum told us that it was widely thought among the Negro League executives and coaches and managers that Monty Irvin would be the first.
Right.
He was the best, had the temperament, had all of those things going for him, but Branch Rickey decided Jackie Robinson would be the guy. But everybody really kind of felt like Monty Irvin was the best player and would be that guy to break the barrier. However, in addition to being a great player, he batted .296 in his 7 years with the Giants, 84 homers, 393 runs batted in. What most people in Giants history remember is he's the guy who tutored Willie Mays.
Okay.
So Monty Irvin was there. Willie Mays came along, and he was the guy that kind of, here's how you do it, kid. And
Yeah.
wow, what a mentor and what a career for Willie Mays.
What a guy to pick up.
Yeah.
I mean, to tutor. Let's put it that way. One of the best ever. Some would call him the best.
No. Thairo Estrada 0 for 2.
I'll say if Stephen can get through this inning, get the couple outs, keep it a 2-0 ball game. Plesac went through 81 pitches, 65% strikes. Plesac did a good job when they had guys on. They were only 1 for 10 off.
Weak ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Owen Miller. Gets the throw off in time to retire Estrada, 2 down.
Boy, he knew that. He had to get rid of it quickly because he just does get him at first base.
Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen shows you that Trevor Stephan, look, last year he was a Rule 5 pick. They did a terrific job weaving him in and out of situations as the season went on. He got more confidence. He got stronger. He got put into more late game situations, and I think they feel very confident that he's a guy that can be counted on this year.
Well, he earned it, boy. He really did pick it up the second half of the year. Felt comfortable. Added that splitter. Has a nice slider and a pretty powerful fastball as well.
He's got Steven Duggar, who doubled earlier tonight, takes a strike.
The other day I interviewed him after the game, and all the guys were giving him a little business, and they go, Andre, is that the first time you've ever talked to him with the mic? And I go, no, I've talked to him before. And they go, we just said we got a better bullpen than last year, and we're telling Brian Shaw on it. But it talks about the confidence of where he's at. He says, I feel like we learned so much from the guys last year that we can do something this year.
Stephen Kwan in left makes the catch. Terrific job by Stephan, stranding that runner in scoring position. 2-0 San Francisco in the 6th.
Heading to the bottom half of the 6th inning here in Cleveland. Nice hairstyle there. I'm Al Pawlowski. 2-0 Giants over the Guardians. Time now for a Ken Ganley Kia game break. Let's head to Toronto. Blue Jays hosting the A's. The only run scored thanks to Vlad Guerrero. 2-run blast here to right center in the bottom of the 1st inning. And it is still 2-0 Toronto as the Blue Jays, Vlad Guerrero, Matt and Rick, he leads the majors in home runs. Now 5 homers for Vlad Guerrero Jr., fellas.
All right, thanks, Al. Any chance we're going to see you with the handlebar mustache? Maybe a little red, white, and blue in the hair?
I'm thinking about that, but I want Arch to do it too, so we do it together. What do you think?
No, I'll do it alone. Go right ahead.
Fair enough.
Table for one. Fastball outside corner. Rodon picks up where he has left off all night long, just painting in, out, up, down. He's using the whole four quadrants.
He's been so good. 10 outs on 3 pitches or less. Plus he has the 5 strikeouts. Plus he hasn't walked anybody, and he's thrown some unhittable pitches. He's been tremendous.
Mercado swings over the top.
They're sitting. They're caught in between. His fastball's been so good, he's elevated it, and they can't catch up to it. And you know we thought they were sitting on his breaking pitch earlier. Well, now they're in between. And when a guy's doing that, that's the key to pitching, upsetting the timing of any hitters. And these guys were swinging the bats as well as anybody in baseball here throughout as a lineup. You can see 34 strikes, 16 balls. Has not had a 2-0 count on the night. And we're in the 6th inning. This is the exact same guy we saw last year in April. And he was up at 96, 97 late in the ball game when he threw the no-hitter. Look at that. See ya.
The pitch looked like it was off the dish, but he gets the call. That's 6 Ks now for Rodon. Spectrum Mobile replay. It has been a heavy dose of upper 90s fastball.
It sure has. He's pitching up in the strike zone. He got one early to get a swing there. Then he gets a breaking ball and a nice play by Flores. That was an out. But just watch him pound the upper part of the strike zone with a 96, 97 mile an hour fastball, and he's locating it. Then when you're sitting on the fastball, he drops that in, and you have no chance. You know, normally you see guys get down and throw that fastball down, but his has been elevated and it's hit the strike zone.
How many times have you seen a guy pitching into an inning where he's averaging less than 10 pitches per inning? I mean, he's at 52 pitches, 1 out into the 6th.
Well, they can't square it up. Got to send out some birthday wishes. Ozzie Comstock turning 100, a big Cleveland fan. Jim Kipstool of Seven Hills is 90. Happy birthday. And Cookie Keneal of Newton Falls is 75. A happy birthday to you as well.
Now the 1-1. Hit hard but fouled on the third base line. And the 1-2. Foul back over the screen. Opening night sellout. First time that opening day has been a night game since the last time we had labor issues, 1995, when the season got pushed
It started
back.
late and it started in May. I got you. Well, goes to tell you. Uh-oh.
Deep center field. Back is Duggar. Plenty of room, though. Makes the catch. 2 down.
That was one of the harder balls they hit, and everybody got excited about it, but it stayed out in the routine center field.
Back to the top of the order, Miles Straw. Last 4 games, this team has scored at will. But tonight, Carlos Rodon is spinning a gym. Upstairs, ball 1. Straw has struck out twice tonight.
First 2-0 count. And comes back with a low heater, 97 inside, down and in. Giants are watching his first 2 starts thinking, boy, I think we did the right thing signing this guy. But the key is for Carlos to stay healthy for him.
Yep.
That's going to be the big key for them. He's an excellent pitcher when healthy.
High, ball 4. That's the first walk. And it comes with 2 outs here in the 6th. And a word now from Northern Ohio GMC.
Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Step up to GMC with 0% financing on these GMC models.
You know, Matt, you mentioned the contract he signed, and Arch, you've mentioned his health every time we've seen him over the last couple of years. Don't you guys have a feeling that's how older pitchers will have to do contracts going forward? I know you said for the Giants side, but I think pitchers, that's what you're going to see as they get older with the price going up.
Well, it seems like there's more options.
I think more teams are less afraid of big dollars, shorter term.
Right. Well, I see the same thing. They should do that.
It helps both sides, in my opinion.
I don't disagree there.
If you want the big money, you're not going to get 5-6 years anymore.
Well, no,
especially with the history.
That hurts because you know what? Then they only play about 50-60% of the time anyway.
I mean, look at the season he had last year, and the White Sox didn't even pick up his option. They didn't even want to have him back because of how much money they had given him and how many starts he had missed.
Right, and the injuries. They had to pay for all the surgeries and all the rehabs and everything that's going on in his life. He is a good pitcher, but obviously they felt they weren't going to invest, that much.
And look at the top of their rotation right now, all banged up.
Well, yeah.
The 1-1. Stephen Kwan looks, it's outside, 2 balls and a strike.
Stephen Kwan has gone through one of the best weeks you could have in his first week of baseball, and he told me before the game today right now, he said, I'm a little exhausted with all the other stuff. And a couple of the guys told him, it won't be like this. Just get through today, and it'll get some normalcy in your life.
Don't worry, he's only got another 6 months to go. Every day.
Well, I think just with the media and just everything that's been thrown, you know where I'm going.
I mean, it's overwhelming.
And no one can prepare you for that.
Correct. You got it. That's true. They can tell you everything that's going to happen. But
97, bottom of the zone, and it's 2-2. Lefty Anthony Gose for Cleveland. Right now, San Francisco sends third baseman Wilmer Flores to the right side of the infield for a shift.
Interesting, isn't it?
They'll keep Crawford on the left side by himself. We see occasionally teams do that.
Well, I know that, but my point being, Kwan is not afraid to go the other way. What are they going to try and throw the breaking ball here to try and get him to pull? Because a fastball, if he gets one, he can easily hit it the other way. Like that.
He got 99 and fouled it back. Well, I don't know what teams use analytics at what percentage, but I don't think it going out on a limb to saying the Giants are one of the more analytic heavy teams in baseball.
Yes, I would think so.
Two down. Straw at first. 2-2 to Kwan. Outside, full count. And you know what? At the end of the day, Rick, doesn't matter what anybody thinks or says about analytics. You win 107 games.
Right.
Tough to argue.
Yeah, and it comes down to executing your pitches if you're the pitcher, and he's executed almost all of them today. He's allowed just one hit, so they know what they're doing.
Straw will be off on the 3-2 to Kwan. Struck him out with a high fastball right above the zone. 7 Ks for Rodon.
Cleveland Guardians baseball is brought to you by Chevrolet, the #1 selling family of SUVs in the Cleveland area. And by Spectrum Mobile. Switch and save with Spectrum Mobile, nationwide 5G included. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com.
It may look calm on the outside, but inside it is rocking at the Rock. Hot. Cavaliers lead by 10 at halftime against Atlanta. It is the season on the line for them. They win. They are the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They lose, their season's over. And here at Progressive Field, opening night, sellout crowd, so downtown is jumping this evening on a Friday night. Joey Bart will lead off for San Francisco. You talk about how timing is everything in life. So in 2017, just 5 years ago, these Giants lost 98 games. What did that get them? Just the 2nd overall pick in the draft, which they spent on Joey Bart to be the heir apparent to Buster Posey. Maybe for some people, Posey retired abruptly, but the timing was perfect. Bart's ready to go. He steps right in.
Think about it.
Hit 294 at AAA last year.
Posey didn't play in the pandemic year.
That's right.
He opted out.
That year
so,
out.
he came back, played that one. They won 107 games, and he says, I think I've had it.
Yeah. Anthony Gose, 3rd appearance of the year. But it's just kind of crazy when you think about the success that the Giants have had. They've won 2 world championships since 2012. You forget that they also went through a swoon there where they lost 98 games, and that gets them to the top of the draft, and they didn't miss on this guy. Or at least it doesn't appear that they
Well,
missed.
he's got some awfully big shoes to fill with a Buster Posey, possibly, a Hall of Famer. Yeah, you just got to wait and see what this guy does. Talent may be there. He's a big kid.
Out of play to the right. Upstairs. Swung on and miss. Anthony Gose strikes him out, one away.
Well, the White Sox will be here for a 4-game series. That all starts on Monday, and you can get your $15 district ticket presented by Miller Lite or a $10 kids ticket and head down to the ballpark. Visit CLEGuardians.com or download the ballpark app. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there will be 6 o'clock starts with a Thursday 1 o'clock getaway.
Mike Yastrzemski 1 for 3 on the night. Can't catch up to 97-mile-an-hour heat from Anthony Gose. And a count 0-2. Hit him on an 0-2 pitch. So a break for the Giants as their leadoff man is aboard now.
Trying to go inside, but he gets him on that padding you see on the elbow. Couldn't get out of the way.
StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. The hot zone for Brandon Belt last year.
Middle down.
Likes that middle away too, huh?
Well, middle of the plate's pretty good for a hitter.
Yeah.
They don't mind. You better hit it there, because if you don't, you're not going to see many of them. But when he does, he doesn't miss it, it seems like.
Fastball right at the top of that zone, strike 1.
That's a good place to go. You saw at the top of the zone, he has a tough time getting up to it. Maybe that typical left-handed hitter where you got a slight uppercut and you can launch it.
Then he took something off. Boy, that was pretty. Had him geared up for 97, and he pulled the string on this slider.
After following out, he followed that slider down there after a high fastball, so totally changed the eye level.
Swing and a miss, came right back with it. Stayed with the slider and struck him out, 2 down.
Another one, he got him to chase out of the zone. That's always nice. You can throw a pitch, don't throw it for a strike. They can't put it in play. Hedges does a nice job to smother it. Gets the second out.
Fastball in there for a strike. Anthony Gose trying to become a real weapon for Terry Francona out of that bullpen. A former outfielder, he went 5 years between major league appearances before he came back last year on September the 20th. And pitched well down the stretch. That got out in front of Hedges after it kicked away from him. So on the wild pitch, Yastrzemski's in the scoring position with 2 down.
Well, not much you could do with this if you're Hedges. He doesn't turn his glove the other way. He has it up and it deflects off the glove and has a tough time picking it up, but that's a tough pitch. Wild pitch.
Darren Ruff 0 for 3. Back foot slider. And the 2-1. Time call. Just outside with the breaking ball. And it's now 3-1.
It's like they don't want to give in to Rupp after that wild pitch with first base open with a fastball. You've got the left-hander Peterson on deck.
So that's ball 4, and there are 2 on with 2 out. And the left-handed hitting Jock Peterson coming up, who homered his last time up to
get a pinch hitter,
extend the lead. So Gabe Kapler will call back Peterson for a pinch hitter. And I believe this is Austin Slater. Of course, everybody's wearing number 14. So when you play a team that you rarely see like the Giants, got to double check. Tito is going to counter with a pitching change. Brian Shaw will be coming on when we come back. Tune in tomorrow for Guardians Live pregame presented by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. Alan Jensen will preview the game at 5:30 tomorrow with our first pitch slated for just after 6 p.m. New pitcher for Cleveland is Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw will be facing Austin Slater, who came on to pinch hit for Jock Peterson. Shaw making his 4th appearance now on the year. Austin Slater was an 8th round pick of the Giants back in 2014. Before the implementation of the DH in the National League, Gabe Kapler and the Giants, they were a pinch hitting machine in recent years. In fact, they set a major league record for pinch hitting appearances last year with 406. That's 47 more than any other club in baseball history.
And I think they hit about 18 home runs pinch hitting.
Don't have that number in front of me.
I think they did. They were unbelievable.
Note I have here is there were times where they had emptied their bench by the 5th or 6th inning, because again it kind of goes back to that analytics driven idea of, hey, this is a favorable matchup, let's pinch hit right here. 3-0. And you've got the big bopper Brandon Crawford lurking. Just did catch the outside corner. Runners go on a 3-2 pitch, and it's out of play. Ryan Shaw trying to keep it a 2-0 deficit. Missed a bit high, and they're loaded up. Second straight walk.
Not the guy you wanted to walk to get to, that's for sure.
Back in the second inning, Brandon Crawford put the Giants in front with a home run, his first on the year.
That was a changeup he hit out of the ballpark. Gave him a 1-0 lead, another solo home run. In the 6th. But boy, the way with the Indians the Guardians one hit, you have got to keep it a 2-0 ball game.
Brandon Crawford was 4th in the National League MVP balloting last year. Fastball caught the outside corner. Crawford had a career year in home runs with 24 and runs batted in with 90. He's got him loaded with 2 down. And the 1-2 pitch is swung out and missed. He struck him out to end the inning. The Giants leave him loaded. The game stays 2-0 San Francisco, and Cleveland will be coming to bat in the bottom of the 7th with Jose Ramirez, Franmil Reyes, and Ahmed Rosario due up. So it's far from over, down just 2, but they've got to get the offense rolling against Carlos Rodon. Here's our Charmin Ultra Strong Stats. And Jose Ramirez came into today with 12 hits, tied for the Major League lead. 3 homers, 14 runs batted in, 7 extra base hits.
Yeah, they just need another hit. They need base runners is what they need. And This guy, Carlos Rodon, has been awfully tough tonight. Has allowed a 2-out double back in the second inning.
Before the game tonight, and talking to Terry Francona about Jose Ramirez, he gave maybe the best compliment he can give when it comes to contracts and staying with the team that you love. Dustin Pedroia, who was his favorite player in Boston early in his career, signed a contract that was much like the contract Jose Ramirez signed earlier in his career. And people in Boston kind of said to him, why would you sign that early? And Tito told him, he goes, if you love the game and you love playing here, don't run from it. And if you play well enough, you'll get another one that'll set you for the rest of your life. He said the same thing to Jose, and the same thing is happening. He said those two guys are two of his favorite of all time because of what they did between the lines, but they showed up at the ballpark early every day and worked their tails off and made their teammates work just as hard.
Yeah, I think you can certainly draw some similarities between Pedroia and Ramirez.
You know, a little guy Pedroia was too, you know, and he had some pop, and he was a terrific player. Injuries ended up curtailing his career.
2-1. Up high, 3 balls and a strike.
That's what you need, base runners right now.
Giants bullpen is quiet at the moment. 72 pitches for Rodon, so he's in good shape there. But they probably will be grabbing a baseball and getting somebody loose here shortly.
In the last inning, they've had some hitters counts, which in the first 6 they did not. Now there's your leadoff man
aboard for just the second time tonight. Second walk in the last 3 batters for Rodon. So that's certainly something that I'm sure has them on edge in that Giants dugout. Austin Slater staying in the game for Peterson out in left field. The batter is Franmil Reyes. He's hit the ball hard twice tonight, but he's hit it at the wrong guy, Brandon Crawford, who won his 4th National League Gold Glove a year ago. Caught a line drive in the second, turned a double play on a ground ball off the bat of Reyes in the 4th inning. Got after that first pitch fastball, but fouled it back.
It'll be a nice time to see the big man get started.
He's 0 for 12 at the plate. 0 for his last 12. Takes a breaking ball down low. Chops that foul up the third base side. And the count is 1-2. Tying run at the plate here, bottom of the 7th.
It didn't take long for him to get set and get ready to deliver. Yeah,
up high, out of play.
That's been his go-to pitch tonight, that elevated fastball. This one, shoulder height. Reyes still able to get a piece to stay alive, but you know, now you keep an eye for maybe something soft and down, and Ramirez got to be heads up for anything breaking in the dirt too, to try and get himself in scoring position. Oh! Whew. Wow! I don't know. He got out of the way of that one. I mean, watch this. It's coming. Ooh. Tried to get a little extra on that when it got away from him.
And the 2-2. Full count.
Is that a changeup? I think that's he took a little something off after wanted to take something off after he ran one up and under his chin. Big pitch right here for Rodon.
Boy, is it ever.
Yes, it is.
The 3-2. Base hit right field. Ramirez goes to third.
Now that was an outstanding swing by Reyes. He did not pull off of it. He stayed on it. Take him the other way, and what do? You first and third him. Now you've got some action. That was a really good swing. The big man needed it. Beautiful. Stayed on it. He went with the elevated fastball, and he just takes it to take what is given. Good swing. Only the second hit, but now they have the table set. First and third, nobody out. And a visit to the mound.
For the first time tonight, action in that San Francisco bullpen. Ahmed Rosario is coming up. And we'll get a word right now from Wayside Furniture.
Create your outdoor oasis with patio furniture from Wayside Furniture. In stock and at below market prices. Wayside in Akron, keeping it local since 1937.
Ahmed Rosario digs in. Tying run now at first base. Out of play to the right. Ahmed trying to follow Fred Meals' game plan right there. Dominic Leone, right-hander up in San Francisco's bullpen. '97, and it was right down East 9th Street, but fouled straight back by Rosario.
Yeah, just fouled straight back.
0-2 the count. 99, and he watched it go by. One down.
Well, and that had some mustard on it, and it's right there, the inner half of the plate. He must have been looking for something up.
Yeah.
And he just throws that heater by him down. Well, that is the first out of the inning.
And Owen Miller, who had the first hit for Cleveland in the second inning. And their last hit until Franmil Reyes singled here in the seventh. First pitch, slider down the
Yeah, but you see, that's the pitch he got a hit on. When you think about it, he went out in front and got that slider before it got in. That one was in off the plate. He made a point of, if you're going to miss, you miss in off the plate, and he did a good job to get it in there.
How many 0-2, 1-2 counts has he had tonight?
He's been peppering the zone. Not until the sixth inning did they have a couple of counts in their favor. Ramirez walked, he had it in his favor. Reyes fought his way back in, but now another 0-2 count. Yeah, they got to find a way to get on the board here anyway.
April 14th of a year ago, Carlos Rodon no-hit Cleveland. And tonight, almost 1 year to the day later, he has been really good. He's given up just 2 hits, has walked 2, struck out 8. Fly ball, right field. Back is Yastrzemski. Tagging at third is Ramirez. He'll come home with Cleveland's first run of the night.
Owen Miller doing a nice job down in the count, 0-2, and gets his job done getting a sacrifice fly. So they are on the board. The leadoff walk does hurt Rodon. It's a 2-1 ball game.
"24 batters faced, 10 times he's been ahead 0-2 or 1-2 tonight." And a first pitch slider down and away has Naylor out in front of it.
Rodon didn't like the baseball, flips it out of play, wants a new one. And he threw him a good breaking ball that had him check his swing to get after it. So, I don't know, maybe he didn't like the seams on it, wants to throw a fastball here. Another breaking ball.
Naylor twice has grounded out tonight. Pretty good chance this will be the end of the line for Rodon. This will be pitch number 90. And he strikes him out, number 9 on the night. Cleveland gets on the board. It's 2-1 San Francisco through 7 in Cleveland.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Guardians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Guardians.
And today marks Jackie Robinson's historic Major League debut, 1947. Robinson's courage blazed a trail for all of America. Join baseball and all of us in commemorating Jackie Robinson Day. Go to MLB.com/42 to learn more. 8th inning. It's a 2-1 ball game. And the 5th pitcher of the night for Cleveland will be Anthony Castro. Castro came to Cleveland from Toronto in the Bradley Zimmer deal right after the season began. Castro making his 3rd appearance, and he'll be facing Wilmer Flores, Thairo Estrada, and Steven Duggar. 6, 7, 8 batters due up for San Francisco. Castro's fastball in for a strike. Just outside, 2-1. Slider caught the outside corner, 2-2. And he came right back with it and got him. 1 down. And a word here from Kia.
Presenting Kia's lineup of exceptionally capable all-wheel drive SUVs.
Matt Underwood, Rick Manning, Andre Knott with you here at Progressive Field.
Really cool story happened today with Anthony Castro and our local Major League Baseball writer, Anthony Kastrovitz, because, heads up, all right, the story goes like this. Anthony Kastrovitz, not used to seeing anyone's name on Twitter close to his. So maybe 2 years ago, he saw Anthony Castro's name, and they start tweeting at each other because their names are so alike. Today, they met in person for the first time, and if you haven't met Anthony Castro, he might be the nicest ball player in the world. It was really cool to see them finally meet to know each other and not on Twitter. And I'm sure Anthony Castrovitz will have something
funny on Twitter to talk about them meeting for the first time ever after tweeting at each other because their names were so alike.
I know he'll have something
witty,
punny,
yes,
funny to say.
I didn't want to give him too much credit, but you did.
0-2 pitch, Thairo Estrada, weak ground ball to Jose Ramirez. Oh, he misfires badly. And on the error, Estrada will go to second base. I don't know what happened there.
Well, he had plenty of time. He fielded it cleanly. I don't know if the sidearm got him or what. Look at, no problem. Looks like he has a good grip on the ball. He just throws it off target. There you go. Well, wide of the mark. Oh, the first error of the ball game.
Potentially a costly one after you just got on the board to cut the lead in half. Giants now have a runner in scoring position with one out for Steven Duggar. Fastball strike on the outside edge. Duggar doubled in the second. He's 1 for 3. He had struck out 8 times in his first 15 plate appearances coming into tonight. Left field, Kwan. 2 down. And now Castro will set his sights on Joey Bart.
For San Francisco, stepping in, catcher Joey Bart.
Bart, I mentioned earlier, was the 2nd overall pick in the 2018 draft. Casey Mize, the Motown, was the first pick in the draft. Uh-oh, that's hit hard. Deep left field. Kwan looking up. It's off the top of the fence. And I think the third base umpire is signaling a home run.
Yeah, he is.
So Joey Bart will circle the bases. And the error is indeed costly. A 2-out, 2-run homer makes it a 4-1 Giants lead.
I didn't see that. It looked like from our vantage point it went off the top of the wall. Will they even maybe think about challenging that, or did they see it from their dugout? Here comes Tito. I would ask him that. He's probably going to look. There's the slider, and that stayed middle of the plate, and he just creamed it. And let's take a look. That's over.
Hey.
That's over. That's a homer.
Hit the railing.
Yes, it did. That's going to be a home run.
So Joey Bart with a big 2-out, 2-run homer.
Call on a field is home run. This is a crew chief review.
You know, a lot of times on those home runs to the left field area that are above the fence.
The call of home run is confirmed.
Yeah, hit the railing.
It's the audio. They can hear it. They can hear that bing, that ping sound that it makes when it hits that railing.
Well, I mean, we've seen it go into the seats. We've seen it hit steps and it comes back in, and sometimes it's tough to tell when you're down there on the field.
Timeout for a pitching change. Sam Hentges, the big lefties, coming on next. Joey Bart, ironically, he grew up about 3 hours from Buster Posey's hometown.
No kidding.
And he ends up replacing him after Posey retired as the Giants catcher, and he hits a big 2-out, 2-run homer. And the error by Jose Ramirez kept that inning going, and boy, that hurts.
Yeah, the extra outs, absolutely. This is a Giants team that they play a lot of close ball games. It was 2-1, and unfortunately, Castro should have been out of the inning, but the error kept it going, and they took advantage of it.
Sam Hentges, the 6th Cleveland pitcher of the night, with a first pitch strike to Mike Yastrzemski, who is 1 for 3. The 2-1 is hit on the ground to Naylor at first base, and that'll end the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Cleveland down now 4-1. Hey, stay tuned after the game for Guardians Live with Alan Jensen, presented by Toyota. You'll get highlights, analysis, sound from inside the Guardians clubhouse, and a whole lot more coming up right after the ball game. Hopefully they'll be talking about a big rally for the hometown club.
Well, I don't think you're going to want to look up around the shoulder for this delivery. This guy almost scrapes his hand off the mound.
And he is the brother of Taylor Rogers, left-hander who we used to see come out of the Minnesota bullpen, who they just traded to San Diego.
Right.
But they couldn't be any more diametrically opposed as far as pitching.
Truth? That's true. Right-hander from down under.
He's got Oscar Mercado, Austin Hedges, and Miles Straw due up.
Yeah, all 3 right-handed hitters. So Kapler's got the situation that he likes.
And that's the thing with a guy like this. You figure, now both those pitches have been up, but you figure it's either going to be coming down and in at your ankles or down and away off the plate when he goes to the breaking ball.
You would think so. He started him off with that slider at the body. It came in and got the inside corner. There's one. There's a spinner.
Mercado is retired, 1-0. And up come Austin Hedges, 0 for 2 tonight. Now the 1-0 to Hedges is a ground ball by the mound. Crawford, with the catcher running, knew he could wait back, get himself a better hop.
Exactly.
And had plenty of time to throw him out 2 down.
Matt, you mentioned that Tyler Rogers and Taylor Rogers are brothers. Not only that, they are twin brothers. They became the 5th set of twins to play in the same major league ball game just 4 days ago. As you said, Taylor's now over with San Diego, so that will happen very often. But think about that, sets of twins to play in the same major league game. They're just the 5th set of twins to do that. How cool is that, Stu?
How can one be right-handed and one be left-handed?
Completely different.
So they're not identical twins.
No. How'd you figure that one out?
I just guess.
I was waiting for you to tell me.
You figure things out well.
Thank you.
Right side out of play. Well, if Tyler was at least conventional, you could say there would be mirror images.
There you go. I like that one. Far from conventional, though. You don't see many guys, throwing down like this much anymore. Not as much as you used to see. Look at that. Just keep them off balance.
And a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the ninth. It's 4-1 San Francisco. Well, it's time for our key play of the game, and this is just hard to figure. I mean, it's just one of those plays. Jose had it. He's made that play 1,000 times in his career.
Yeah, and they fielded it cleanly, and he just, I don't know what happened, and then they get an extra out. He hangs a slider, and he hits a line drive that hits the railing, comes back into play, but it is a home run. There you see it very clearly.
It's confirmed.
That's confirmed, and that was a bad sign right there, because that made it a 4-1 ball game now.
Yeah, it went from 2-1 to 4-1. Yeah. And that's where we stand going to the ninth. And this is our first look at Connor Pilkington, left-hander, making his first appearance with the Guardians. And Pilkington came from the White Sox in the Cesar Hernandez trade last July 29th. Fastball, curveball, slider, and change. He was a third-round pick of the White Sox out of Mississippi State 4 years ago. And that fastball is fouled away by Brandon Belt. When he came over after the trade last year, Pilkington went to Akron, where he went 3-2 with a 2.33 ERA in 8 games. 7 of those were starts. Low and away. And he was, like a lot of pitchers and players, position players for that matter. Last year was important because he didn't play the year before.
Right.
Because of the pandemic,
Right.
He lost a whole year. And then you finally come back and then you get traded. Down low, full count. Connor really says that's the key right there, what you just saw. Getting ahead with his fastball and then moving in and out. And he figures that if he can continue to do that, gives him a better chance to be successful, like all pitchers. But he lost him on that fastball. It just missed outside. And after all that work, it ends up a walk for Brandon Belt.
Matt, Rick, I've just watched something that maybe I've only seen twice, and we'll have to figure out if we've ever seen this again. Corey Seager down in Texas in the bottom of the fourth in a 3-2 game came up with the bases loaded, and they intentionally walked him to make the score 4-2. Only Barry Bonds is the only other guy I know.
Who they playing?
They are playing the Angels, and the pitcher and Mike Trout made faces that you would guess were not very happy. They don't understand exactly what's going on, but They walked Corey Seager with the bases loaded.
Wow. So the call came from the dugout.
Absolutely.
Joe Madden.
More pitches.
Right.
So that'll be something we can discuss tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be talked about everywhere.
Well, you'll have to see the outcome of what happens.
The fourth inning, Arch.
Well, who knows what the stats were, who he was facing, what the numbers were. I don't know. That's hard to believe, though.
You're telling me there's analytics that say walk, give a run up? I know you're not, but wow.
Well, it's like the old Jim Palmer theory, and we heard him tell us. He said, "I'd rather walk a guy than give up a slam."
And he never did give up a grand slam.
Yeah.
Well, the thing of it is, Jim Palmer wasn't pitching.
Well, it wasn't intentional either. I mean, he might have been unintentionally intentional.
Right.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. Connor Pilkington strikes out Darren Ruff. 1 down.
Now let's see. It looks like he gets a changeup. That's what it is. A little circle change, but that's upstairs. Well, I bet he wants that pitch back. You see that ball so well. It's not a fastball, but he swings through it. So that'll be the first out.
And Austin Slater, who came on as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning and walked, will be the batter. Weak ground ball to third. Ramirez goes to second for 1, on to first. Double play. Giants will challenge the play, so hold everything.
It was close. Let's see. Hosey gets rid of it quickly. And let's see the turn. He is safe.
By a lot.
Yeah, that's not even close. So it'll be a fielder's choice.
The Giants are challenging the out call at first base.
That's pretty quick, and that's pretty. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's missing it. Coach said he's safe. They saw that quickly. They didn't even hesitate. And I think if they saw a replay, that's why they're staying on the field. They're going to flip them the ball and say, keep going. Get this next one.
They don't even need New York for this one.
No kidding.
They can look up on the scoreboard and say,
we just saw how far that ball was out of the glove. I mean, what could take so long?
James Hoy could just say, my bad.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Here we go.
The call on the field is overturned.
Okay, thanks.
The runner is safe. San Francisco retains their challenge.
Well, that's good.
So at 2 down, the inning continues for Brandon Crawford. And he's 1 for 4 with a home run back in the 2nd inning. Struck out with the bases loaded to end the 7th. And a breaking ball misses outside. It's hit well to deep left. Back goes Kwan onto the warning track. Makes the catch to retire the side. Last chance for the Guardians. Coming up next. Recapping our storylines. The storyline tonight ended up being Carlos Rodon.
Yeah,
he
no
just
doubt.
flat out shut him down. 7 innings, just 2 hits, 1 run allowed, walked 2, struck out 9. Tyler Rogers worked a 1-2-3 8th inning.
But command of his fastball, outstanding. He was throwing it by him. He located it beautifully. He mixed in his breaking ball when needed. He was, as advertised, very efficient, man.
Camilo Doval, fastball slider guy. And he became the Giants' closer as the season wore on last year. I mean, he can get it up there. We're talking 100 miles an hour with a fastball. The one thing with Doval that, you know, I think they're waiting for him to maybe, I don't know if it's just maturity, but that level of consistency. You know, sometimes he goes out there and it's like, see, they don't have a chance. Andre and I were watching on the plane the other night, and, you know, all of a sudden he walks a guy, hits a guy, and, you know, and the game's in doubt.
Well, you know what? It takes a while to get that 9th inning with the mentality to pitch with that.
Well, Matt, as we were watching, you could tell he had good stuff, but he was all over the place 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And that was when Matt and I started studying the Giants.
Yeah.
I go, you know who that is?
Well, we do now.
Yes, we do. But he's got a great arm.
Yeah, he's 24 years old.
It takes a while to develop to be a closer and be a consistent one.
I mean, he only pitched 27 innings last year in the big leagues, 29 games going down the stretch, but obviously a lot to like in that arm. And Stephen Kwan looks at a fastball high, ball 1.
It's funny because that was a strike earlier in the night when it was Rodon out there, right there at the top of the zone. There's your breaking ball right there.
He's ahead of Kwan. 1-2. Steven 0 for 2 tonight, hit by a pitch in the 4th inning. Broke his bat, a 1-hopper right to Estrada. And that's out number 1. Missed outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jose Ramirez walked to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning and scored the Guardians' only run tonight. Almost got him on the back foot. Left field, that's trouble. That's going to go a long way and get down. And Jose Ramirez on his way to second base with a 1-out double.
Spins that one, that stays up, and you don't see Jose going the other way a whole lot, but that was he slices it that way. The pitch elevated, made it a little bit easier for him. So there you go. You get a base runner.
And throw that baseball out of play. That's hit number 1,000 in his career.
Now, congratulations.
Arch, Matt Arch, who is this guy? He's getting extra base hits the other way now. I've never seen this.
I know it.
He had the most hits in baseball last year that were pulled at 54%. And now we've watched him hit a homer the other way and a couple doubles the other way this year already.
That's a beautiful thing.
He's maturing.
At 29 years old, he's an older, wiser Jose Ramirez.
So he's the first 990-some, he went out the one way. Now he's going to go the other, the next 1,000.
Well, right now, let's see if Franmil Reyes can stay on the ball the way he did his last time up. He shot one through the right side of the infield for a base hit. One and one to count. You know, it's not that uncommon to see players from the Dominican sign when they're 16 years old. Doval signed when he was 18. And over the next 3 years, his fastball velocity increased like 10 miles per hour. Wow. So that's when he made the quantum leap from, you know, just a guy, just a number, to full-fledged prospect. And that slider backed up in there for a strike. 2-2. Caught in between, struck him out, 2 down. And so it's up to Amed Rosario to keep this game alive.
He freezes him with the slider here. Outside edge, he just wasn't quite sure, didn't know if it was going to stay in the zone. It certainly did. You could see him hesitate there. Good pitch. They get the second out. Down to their last out now.
And Rosario backs up from a fastball that came in tight. Two and 0 the count. If Rosario reaches, Owen Miller would be the tying run at the plate as he waits on deck. He wasn't going to spot him one. Turned it around foul. Out of play on the right side. It was 54 degrees at game time. It certainly feels cooler than that now. We'll be lucky to see 50 degrees in the next few days.
You're right. Tomorrow looks a little chilly.
And the 2-2. Off the end of the bat, left field. Coming in is Slater. And he hangs on to a diving catch and ends the game as the Giants end Cleveland's win streak at 4 as they take the series opener by a final score of 4-1. And Camilo Doval has his second save on the year. Carlos Rodon has his first win.
Beautiful play. He you know, he could afford to do it and continue to come in there because they had a 3-run lead. But I'll tell you what, he didn't stop. He continued and made a nice catch to end the ball game. And Giants will take game 1 of this 3-game series.
Yeah, Carlos Rodon. It was a little too close to turn back the clock day, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. About a year ago, absolutely.
Yeah, he was really good, and the Giants take the series opener. We're back tomorrow with game 2 of this 3-game weekend series. Time now for Guardians Live post-game with Al and Jensen. I don't know, guys, you know, Rodon, when you look at his work tonight, I can't remember too many pitchers